You keep like
Just don't tell us when you record it.
Is it good now?
It is good.
Okay. So, hi everybody. Back again for another chapter pack review from Game of Thrones. I believe this is the second to last pack in the Blood and Gold cycle.
I believe it is,
Okay.
actually.
And I'm joined here today by somebody new. Dom is going to help me review this pack today.
Yes. So my name is Dom. I'm a player from the Springs area, and just got into the game through a friend of mine who played the first version, and just got kind of hooked from there. And then with the TV show and everything. So it's just a game I really love. I enjoy it a lot, and I'm just happy to be here to review this pack with you guys. So.
And so did you actually play first edition a bunch?
A little bit, yes.
Oh,
I was about ready to. I was so hooked. I was able to get I wanted to get all the cards, and my friends were like, "No, just hold on, man, because in a couple months the second edition's coming out."
Okay.
So thank God they saved me $800 or something. But yeah, I've been playing ever since the second editions came out.
Man, me too. I remember. Yeah, I have first edition just so I can play like old style melee because I kind of treat it like a multiplayer game. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started. This is Oberyn's Revenge. If I didn't say it earlier, we're gonna start at the normal pack order. So just from lowest number to highest number. So first one is a new, brand spanking new Bran Stark, 3-cost character with a power icon. He's got 2 strength. Of course, he's unique and he's loyal. He's got the Lord trait, so I guess you can play him for 1 if you wanted to on
Or for free if you have
fealty. Yeah. He's got the action to kneel. He can kneel himself and choose and stand a direwolf character until the end of the phase. That character gains a challenge icon of your choice. So that's pretty cool. He doesn't have his cancel effect like I think you're going to talk about, but I'll let you say it because you've been testing with this guy a little bit, right?
I played with him a couple times, and the reason why is I was kind of excited when I first saw it. Was I originally made a direwolf deck just because it just seemed like a fun theme to go with, and one of my complaints was like, man, all these direwolves, all they have is military, and so everything else I'd be lacking in on my deck. So when I saw this card, I was like, oh man, this is awesome. I can stand another character, get multiple use out of a wolf, and get a different icon with that. Now, would I say it's better than the core one?
Core Brain has like a spot in almost any Stark deck just because he's cheap, he's got a power icon, and he has a cancel as a sacrifice.
I would say yes. I would say he's number one thing I would say is for me personally is that he's cheap and he can cancel an event. So would I put the new one over the old one? Probably not.
It's too like what do they call it? Tribal, is so super tribal. So he's basically just a 2-strength power for one, like an overcosted 2-strength power icon without any direwolves out. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put this one in unless I had a direwolf thing kind of going on. But
that being said, there's a decent amount of stuff that can because I think my main complaint is only military, like you were saying, and there's a decent amount of stuff that can get Star characters to participate in challenges without having icons, which I think is kind of cool. But we'll see. I think there's a few more things that need to happen before the direwolf theme comes to fruition, but that's definitely going to be a powerhouse when it does.
Yep.
So. The second card is an event. It's called a 0-cost event, Passing the Black Gate, and it's a non-loyal. The marshalling action, kneel your faction card to reduce the cost of each Stark character you marshal this phase by 1. So I used to play cards like this a lot when I was playing Conquest because I liked paying less for stuff, but you really have to have a weenie deck almost to kind of get a lot of benefit out of this. Like the builders, right? That's how builders work. I mean, the whole reason builders works is because Brandon's gift does this, right?
Yeah. I would say in the sense I kind of like this one. I did get a chance to play with it. It's one of those, it's like, if you just need that 1 extra gold, which I don't know how many times you've been in that situation, you're like, man, if I just had 1 extra gold or 1 more reducer, I can get Blackfish out, or I can get Eddard, or any of the other main characters, or even just 2 weenies you can get out. you know, just for a military claim or something.
Because you could really make an economic turn if you hit like some chud like econ chuds, you know, and you're like passing the black gate and you're like free, and then you pay like 1 for another card, and then you just exhaust all the stuff you played, and you're now you.
Well, and another thing you gotta look at too is this could be a good card for like post valor kind of thing. You know, you have your board, you wipe your board, you wipe your opponent's board, but then, you know, you only have 2 gold. You know, you might be able to get, you know, an extra character out, depending on what your economy is on the board already.
That's a good point.
And so, I don't know. I kind of like it. Anytime you can get something cheaper.
I think you've talked me into it. Like, I really do see the Brandon's gift kind of thing going on here too, which I like, because it means that I don't have to play builders to get the same like kind of ability to just vomit some stuff out after a Valar. So because after you play builders once, you're pretty much done.
Yeah.
So the next card is the first card for the Martell or the Tyrell card. Sorry, they sound too similar from my head, and I always do that. 4-cost character with a military power icon. Our icons. It's 3 strength, unique. His name is Sir Garland Tyrell. He's non-loyal. He's got that beautiful knight trait that, you know, Tyrell likes so much. I think, so right now, before we go too much further, I like the fact that he's a 4-cost Bicon who's 3 strength and has renown. Like, he's burnable, but like, that's a very relatively cheap renown keyword, right?
Yeah, I mean, I also like that he's 4-cost because then he's not
for snow.
For snow, yeah, exactly. But also he has renown, of course. Yeah. And then the whole bestow thing with 3. You know, give a character plus 2 strength. I mean, that just goes great with, you know, like Randall. Yeah. Or
I'm almost okay just paying 6 to have like a 5 strength, you know, Bicon with renown, right?
Yeah.
Not you can't Dracarius him. You get a little bit of a little bonus from that, but you know, with the other prevalence of what is it, Plaza Punishment? Or no, that's not the right one. The one that like you can is Astropor, the one where you can like exhaust and kill stuff, But
I just like the fact of knowing that you can, you know, you're letting your opponent know, like, hey, I have potential of adding 2 strength to a character. So that kind of almost makes them want to think, do I want to overcommit or I just want to undercommit so then I can, you know, come back with my challenges or whatever. So
yeah, that's a good point. And you're right. I think the Randall synergy is like on point there. It's going to be good. I mean, this with Marge, you can like almost get Randall happening like on all your offense and like maybe even some of your defense depending on how much you bestow him. So
that's what I like about it. I mean, it's just a lot of, you know, it makes your opponent think like, you know, am I willing to sacrifice that gold to give a character plus 2 strength if I want to win that challenge? And so it just, you know, makes your opponent think more, and you know, you might be able to get them off their game a little bit. So
yeah, and I mean I'm a fan of that also in cards like it took me a little bit to get used to, but cards like what is it, the Iron Fleet Raiders, right? It's a card that typically just sits there and does nothing, but it makes your opponent have to think, and therefore they could probably make a mistake. And a lot of this game, I think, is won on misplays, as I know very well because I do it a lot. So the next one, the next Tyrell card is Olean's Machinations. It's a 2-cost event, and this is the same kind of like cycle of events that we've seen throughout this entire cycle. I guess I said cycle twice, but the one where you do something and then there's a reaction to if you do something else where you can pay money to get it back. And I was saying earlier to Dom that I think this is great for like a Tyrell Rush, just because a second power challenge could really mess stuff up on certain turns. Like Clash of Kings power challenge, double power would be like 4 swing. Or a 2 swing with you having 4.
Like the Tyrells need any more of a power rush. So,
and then I mean, of course, you got the Intrigue challenge to get it back. So I'm not going to read through it because you guys can see it, but
I love it.
I like it. I'm really a fan of these kind of. I thought at first that too. So when I started playing Game of Thrones, I was playing Greyjoy. Like I played Greyjoy a lot, and you never have money in your challenge phase ever, right? And so if you have like 1. You're like, oh my god, maybe I can like we do not sow or something.
I'm rich.
Yeah, you're rich. So like when I was seeing these 2-cost events, I was like, no way, you can't play it, unplayable. Like it's too expensive. But now as I'm playing more different decks, I'm seeing that actually, you know, you can get money and you don't spend all your money every time. And you know, in a Valar meta like where you know people can get wiped with berries, you really don't want to like just blow all your gold playing characters every turn. So.
Yeah, and I think that's just for me personally. Like I always try to have some gold left over because, like I said, I try to have my opponent think as much as I can. And if they know I have, say 1 or 2 gold in my reserve, they're going to be thinking through their head what kind of events that he potentially might have that he can play.
That's a good player strategy. That's not what I do.
So I mean, it's just almost like you're bluffing in a sense, but in a sense where you're in a situation where you use this event, you win intrigue, you can come, get it back in your hand. So I like it.
Me too. I'm a fan. I like it too because you just sit there and you're like, oh, you thought I was done. Psych, I'm going to do another power challenge.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a non-telegraphed Khal Drogo type thing,
Exactly.
We got our first Night's Watch card. We got the 2-cost character, military icon, Defender of the Wall. He's a 2 strength. He's non-loyal. He's got that ranger trait, which is nice because he's a 2-cost ranger, and cheap rangers are good.
Yes.
No weapons, no attachments except weapons. So standard fare for Night's Watch cards. When the Defender of the Wall is defending, it gets +2 strength. So that's pretty cool.
I like it just because of the fact of it's 2 gold and you're getting 4 strength while he's defending.
Yeah,
anytime.
Which is what you do like 90% of the time. Playing Night's Watch.
Which is 90% of Night's Watch decks. But they also have that other card. I forgot the character's name, but he gives every ranger a power icon. So now he's a double.
He's a vanilla bicon. Yeah, he's good.
So now he has military and power potentially, 4 strength for only paying 2 gold. I think that's a good trade-off. Yeah,
and you could even throw something like Dinky on here, like the Dragonglass Dagger, and make him like a huge defender on and just make him a beat stick. And
Castle Black, you can use them for 2 challenges. The Wall. There's multiple things you can do to bump their strength.
Black would be legit.
I know, make him like a 6 strength.
I do think it's interesting that I think the Ranger decks typically. I'm sorry, don't say typically, because I don't actually play the Ranger deck, but the idea of the Ranger deck I feel like is more offensive, so it's interesting that you have a Ranger card that can defend, because you could just throw him out and keep him, I guess I probably shouldn't move it, and keep him for the defense, right? I think it's kind of interesting, because that way you can sit back, you can let your opponent go, if you need to do something like not Watchers on the Wall, but the one that kills all attacking characters when you exhaust 3 Rangers.
I think it is the Watchers on the Wall, where you kneel 2 Ranger characters to kill every
attacking military.
Attacking a character. Yeah.
So you could trigger that off of 2 of these guys just sitting there waiting for your opponent to attack.
You could. But here's another thing, like you're saying, Rangers are more geared for being offensive. So let's say you use some Rangers to do some military challenge or power challenge or whatever. Now you have these guys standing still for defending.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not getting the unopposed, you have the wall out, or you're maybe able to save a character from dying that you need to save.
And the 4 strength, gives him just enough to be outside of the range of most strength hate cards, except for carriers, of course. But that's nice because then it's it can still not be unopposed when he sits.
Yeah, I'm all for characters that if you pay less and get more strength out of what you pay.
Yeah.
You're in a good
and
spot.
That's the vanilla test, friends. If you pass that, you're good to go. Okay, Mutiny at Craster's Keep. I actually like the theme of this card a lot. 0 cost event is a dominance action. You choose a character with highest printed cost among characters you control. Sacrifice that character to choose a character your opponent controls and discard it from play. So the choose there is really good.
Yes.
And this is a card, even though we hate it, that fits so well in Builders because you just do each Watch Carpenter is the only unit that you'd ever
your top character's 3 costs.
Yeah, you're I'm going to take this 3 guy, and you're going to discard Mountain. Or you're going to
your 7 costs Jon Snow, or
you're Eddard, that's and it's Dom phase, so Catelyn and other event negating cards don't really hit it then, but a Treachery or King's or Hand, his Treachery hits it and Hand's Judgment hits it for free, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, but honestly, I think if there wasn't something to cancel it, that'd be just too strong.
If it was 1 cost, it would be too strong. I think just because it would require your opponent to have money still to counter it in the Dom phase.
I'm glad it says you have to sacrifice your highest cost character to sacrifice one of your opponent's characters, because honestly, if it was just sacrifice any charter, oh man,
that would be brutal.
I really like that card.
Me too.
I've tried. I've been playing Night's Watch more. I haven't really been a Night's Watch guy, but lately I've been trying to get into the Night's Watch thing, and And I really like that card, especially I feel like it goes well with the event, the Night Gathers, which allows you to marshal your opponent's discard pile as if characters if they were in your own.
Okay.
Which I like, because I was going along the theme of using my opponent's characters against them.
That's so cool. Because then you don't have to tech your deck. You just kind of like play their characters against them.
Yeah, and so you're more gearing towards like, oh, I'm going to take this character and this character, all this stuff. In which I kind of feel like Night's Watch is having that kind of theme going on right now
definitely.
with, the new Oberyn and
bringing Oberyn back in too.
Oberyn, yeah.
Pretty sweet.
I mean, it's just, I think the idea is cool and it's
What's
fun.
the other one? Recruiter? The recruiter of the watch? The guy who exhausts and you can pull some, but like their chud's over.
Yeah, it's like strength 2 or lower, but yeah, I mean, being able to take maybe their chump claim from their opponent. I mean,
oh, that'd be so. That's such
it
a
just
good
sounds
play.
it just sounds like a fun deck to make. So
I was thinking. So as far as stuff like that goes, or rather, Night's Watch stuff where you don't really want to play a lot of uniques. I'm thinking Mutiny Crashers Keep and the like pillage crossover between Greyjoy, because you can like Queen's Crown in and keep their cards, and then you can start to like do things like, oh, I don't have anybody that costs more than 4, and it's a non-unique, so like I don't really care about putting it out because I can't dupe it anyway. I think you might be able to throw this into that kind of pillage deck to just get a little more control on the board state.
Yeah,
that could be cool too.
I like it.
This card is so awesome. I love this card. The Baratheon cards in this set are cool. Like, so first Baratheon card we have is Stannis' Cavalry. It's a 4-cost character with it already passes the vanilla test with two icons: power and military. Non-unique and non-loyal. That's pretty cool. It is an army though, so I mean keep that in mind. Obviously it's cavalry. So, but bestow 8. Like you ever gonna pay that? I mean you might, but no attachments, which is really cool. Can't be milked or anything like that, which is helpful. Each character your opponent controls with a printed cost X cannot stand during the standing phase. X is the number of gold on Stannis' Cavalry. And, just in case that wasn't good enough, the standing action, move 1 gold. Remove 1 gold from your pool to Stannis' Cavalry limit twice per phase. So the standing is before taxation, I believe, right?
Yes.
So you can just pump all your like leftover stuff into them at the end of the phase. I mean, you're 2 times, but
yeah.
I mean, just paying 4 for a 4, it does like that's good. And then at the end of the turn, like, you start to go into this thing.
Well, even if you put in, like, say, 2 gold.
Yeah, 6.
Now you're paying 6. Now you're, getting characters that are 2 costs that can't stand. So
that's good for, like, econs. Yeah.
Yeah, which goes good with Baratheons kneeling and...
it goes really good with our next card.
Yeah, and I don't know. I like Baratheon.
This card I think is like at least a 2 of if in like most decks. I just think that the 4 strength for 4 gold like is such a good trade with the 2 icons it has.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to play with it a lot, but I'm open to see how it works for me down the road.
And then we have the final like kind of similar but not exactly the same version of the cards we've been seeing a lot of in this one. Northern Encampment, 2-cost location, got the North trait, it's limited and it's loyal. It says Northern Encampment cannot stand during the standing phase unless you have 1 dominance this round, but it's the marshalling action to gain 2 gold. So a little bit of a twist on the theme, right? This one automatically gives you 2 gold, but it means that you have to win dominance in order to keep using it, which I think is appropriate.
Which doesn't make it too hard for Baratheon to do nowadays anyway. With all the kneeling and what was that? The one character she gives +3 strength to dominance or something.
Oh yeah.
The flea. I don't want to say flea bottom, but
bastard. Is that
maybe? I don't know on top of my head, but yeah. I mean, it's definitely cool, and especially their whole win dominance kind of theme.
I wonder if you play like that new agenda we saw called the House of the Red Door, pull out Iron Throne turn 1 like at the beginning of the game. You start getting like Dom right away, and you can start playing like even harder into the whole dominance theme, right? That because you can just mull out your Iron Thrones.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, exactly. When that new agenda comes out.
Yeah, and so like I've been a fan of these the whole way through, just because a lot of them are pretty fun. They think they fit so well in every deck they're in. I like that they changed the theme around a little bit for this one. So normally it's like do 1, go gold, but if something's true, do 2. But this one is it's very Baratheon.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is how it should be.
Exactly. All right, we got our first Lannister card. I don't know how you feel about Lannisters, but like Lannisters just kind of like meth me really hard. 2 cost character. It's an intrigue icon and 2 strength. Case, I think that's how you say it. Case merchant.
Yep.
It's a non-loyal. It's bestow 3, and as a reaction, after you collect income, discard 1 gold from Case merchant to gain 2 gold. So,
like they need any more gold.
right.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I haven't had a chance to play with this one either, but just the idea of like, maybe getting it up, triggering it like once or twice, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see this character staying on the board very long.
Yeah, I just think that like, I guess. So let's say you pay 5 gold, right? It's a 2 coster for 5, and you can do this a bunch of times, but like at 2 strength.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I don't know.
I mean, it might be one of those things like if you throw in a bunch of your gold, like you're saying, pay 5, and then the next round, because there's no limit on how many times you can do it. So I mean, you could literally trigger the reaction 3 times the next round.
It's after you collect income, though, right?
Oh.
Yeah, so you have to
discard
once a turn.
Sorry.
Basically. No, you're fine.
I should probably read the card before I start talking about it.
Semantics. But like, I think like if you were to put like, let's say you pay 4 for it, does your opponent try to target it? Right? I don't know.
I don't know.
There's other more important cards, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say this is I don't know if it would make a spot in my deck. I might try it just to see, but
Theme is on point though with the merchant. Like you invested a bunch of gold and getting it back. I feel like that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's just there's so many different other ways that Lannisters can collect money. I don't know if it's like the best card, but
Fair
whatever.
enough. All right, so the next one is a card that I like thematically, and I like the flavor text on this one a lot too. 1 cost event, a task for every tool. It's a non-loyal, and as a challenge action, you can put a Lannister character with printed cost 2 or lower into play from your hand. I don't play Lannister enough to know why that's good, but I hear it's really good.
It's amazing.
What card do you put in to play?
Well, you can put Burnman, you can put Braun, you could put.
Oh yeah, Braun is 2 strength.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking cost. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking. I'm gonna go back. Yeah, Birdman. I was thinking cost.
Yeah.
Let's see who else. I'm not too sure on top of my head. Like per strength, I know more of the cost, but I know anytime you can put a character into play, just for 1 gold. I mean, it's something that It's a sneak attack, basically.
That's true. That's a good point. So for 1 gold, you can get a 2 strengther in there and maybe surprise them. That's effectively like adding, more strength to a challenge or possibly a challenge you didn't have that your opponent wouldn't plan for. I don't know does it go into jumping lines or whatever they're calling it nowadays? I mean, do you think, or is it?
I mean, if you're going with that kind of theme, like with Aaron Hall and Hear Me Roar, I would definitely put this in there.
Okay.
Even if they're doing a military attack against you and you don't have any chuds or whatever, but you have that's a good card and you only have 1 gold, you wouldn't have enough to ambush the Burnman in, but with that you can ambush them in, use them as claim, so you can save maybe one of your bigger guys. So
that's a good point. I do think that the fact that you'd have to have this and a chud in hand that you couldn't play may meh, but I definitely think that there's going to be somebody who
I always have some sort of chud in my hand. So.
That's good. All right, so the next card is our first Greyjoy card. 5 cost character, military, and power icon at 4 strength. Newt the Barber. He's loyal and he's Ironborn. He pillages, so more pillage isn't bad. After a character you control discards, I feel like they want the pillage to happen in Greyjoy. Yeah. After you control a character you control. Oh, so this is cool. After a character you control discards a card using pillage. So a lot like the Crown of Salt and Rock or whatever, the one that gets power every time you pillage a card, no matter who does it. So keep in mind, not just Newt, anybody who pillages. Return a card from the losing opponent's discard pile to the owner's hand, then draw 1 card. So you can return something to their hand and put them over reserve. They could discard it again, I guess. You could just return some junk to their hand that they don't need. I mean, you get to pick, which is nice.
Yeah, but I think the main thing I like about it is you get to draw a card. I know there's been a couple times I played with Greyjoy and my card draw is just not really there.
Unless you like Great Kraken or something, you're not really drawing more than just the draw phase. So.
Yeah, or Blessing with Salt, or Ahead of the Tide.
That's true. Head of the Tide's still a thing.
But yeah, I mean, this is just another character you can put, and honestly, you can pillage. You can give the card back to them that they just pillaged, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you can give them some whatever chump or some card that they don't really need or they can't use. But you get to draw a card, so I actually kind of like it.
3 times per phase too, which means you could get 3 extra cards if you don't mind your opponent having extra cards in hand.
Yeah, and then it kind of gives you the option of you can spend more gold throughout the rounds to put more cards out because potentially you're going to get more in hand. So
yeah, that's true. I think it's cool. I don't know that I have built a pillage deck yet, so I don't. I think he probably goes in it because he's got a global pillage effect, which is really good. So yeah,
I like pillage. So.
Yeah. And a 5/4 cost with 2 icons isn't bad. He's got the Ironborn too, which I think matters. I think there's some cards that care about Ironborn, like I believe Aeron Danfear will let you pull Ironborns back out of your dead pile. Is that right? Or is it Drown Men?
No, the old Danfear.
Yeah.
Also, another thing with the I forgot what I was going to say. The whole pillage. Crap. I just totally forgot my spot. Sorry, my mind just got pillaged.
He did not get to draw a card.
No, I did not get to draw a card. I don't know. It must not have been that important, but
well, if you remember,
we'll just keep going.
I love this ship. This ship is so good.
Let me go back. Sorry,
okay,
I do remember now. Okay, so with the whole pillage thing, I like it is it goes well with their location theme.
Yeah, with
the 2 gold if they have 6 cards or more in their discard pile. So anytime you can get an extra card in there, so potentially next round you can get an extra gold.
And you don't have to trigger the reaction too. I mean, if you're I'm good on cards, you just pillage more and you have more strength for pillaging.
And that is a good point because it is not forced, so you don't have.
You don't have to do it.
You don't have to do it.
The Iron Victory. Oh man, this card's so cool. 2 location, unique warship. I love the unique warships in Greyjoy. It's just loyal. Will you control Victorian Greyjoy? He gets +1 strength for each power he has. So so if you're playing Greyjoy, you play this card, you're always gonna have him be at +1 or 2 or 3 strength depending on how renowned he is. And then the second part is awesome. After your character is saved twice per phase, that character gains 1 power. So you always trigger this on a save for Victorian every time he has power if you can save, because he's going to get 1 back, right?
Yes.
He sacks 2 and gets 1 if this card is in play. Yep. On top of that, Iron Mines, what's the other one?
Risen from
the Sea. Stuff like that all is going to just generate you power, which is so cool. And I know that people were talking about this on Reddit the other day with the card of the day being Iron Victory, but the idea that we were talking about how that Tyrell card was for Rush. This card for Greyjoy Rush is insanity. You could get 3 or 4 power on a Veiler turn if you have enough saves out, right? That's insane. That could win you the game, a Benjen, right? If you save the characters who are already have the renown, and you're just Iron Mines, something else, and whoa, Bodyguard.
Yeah, well, even another thing I like about that is Victorian gets +1 strength for every power he has.
And that means Intimidate's going off more often?
Yeah, Intimidate's going to be more of a bigger factor for him. Also, it's going to be harder to kill him.
It's
going to just because he has those power to to discard to save him, which in a sense, like you said earlier, he gets 1 back, so you're really only discarding 1 power just to save him.
Yeah.
I think that's worth a trade-off.
It definitely is worth 2 gold. Plus, I think in that Greyjoy deck, you're hoping to set up for warships, because I mean it's a lot the kind of builders in that way where you're just throw locations and then play your first turn out, right? This could work really well. This or Great Kraken could work really well with the Red Door agenda too.
That, and I think this card is another good card for the Drownmen.
Oh yeah.
Give them another +1 strength. I mean, anytime you can, boost his strength or something like that, I'm all for that.
Warship Central. That's a cool. I'm gonna try and build that.
I like it. I'm gonna try it.
All right. Eerie is our first Targaryen card. We got another companion here. 2-cost character. Intrigue and power icons, 2 strength, unique, and she's a companion to Dothraki, so anything that cares about companions cares about this card. Bestow 2, and solid bestow ability. Discard 1 gold from her, and choose to stand a Lord or Lady character limit once per phase. So, yeah, discard, after Daenerys has already initiated a challenge, you stand Daenerys, and now everybody's at -1 strength again. You're like, wait, what?
Well, think about it this way, too. Here's another idea or thought. You have Daenerys and then that one dragon, Rhaegal. So she wins a challenge, she stands. Then let's say you have Plaza Pride.
Yeah.
Then you have potential another stand, plus her.
Another stand.
Not even just her, and Maester Illyrio.
Yeah.
With 2 gold, potentially. I mean, there's a lot of different effects to stand characters.
And that's a lot you can do with just 1 or 2 characters on the target board too.
Or even Drogo.
I like the idea of discarding a card in order to Dracarius. So you're in the challenge, everything's out, and you're discard a gold, Dracarius, and there's everybody's still in the challenge. You've got the power from your dragon or your Daenerys, and now you're Dracariusing inside the challenge phase.
Well, and since you said that, that reminded me of this one time I played this game. I was doing Targaryen, and I had a, military challenge out. I had a dragon standing with 2 gold, and my opponent only had he nailed, I don't know, I think it was the mountain or something.
Sure.
And I was able to Jakaris him, get him down to 6. Then I stood the dragon with Plaza Pride, did another Jakaris, brought him down to, what was it,
4.
2?
Okay. Yeah, I know, 2.
2, and then I asked support him. And then he died.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's a lot of different trickery things you can do. You don't need to have 2 dragons if you have 2 Jakarises in your hand.
That's true.
And 2 gold or
That's
whatever.
true.
Or you can even just have 1 gold if you're running Fealty. So,
the amount of stand effects in Targ right now are pretty cool. Plaza Punishment, Eerie, Master Illyrio, and there's even 1 or 2 more, I think. That there's the Blood Rider stand, you can stand.
Yeah, with the summer
plots.
And then they have their event. I can't think of the name of it, but if you win power by 5 or more strength, you get to stand a character.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, there's definitely a lot of options with standing, which I'm all about if you can get multiple uses out of the character.
Definitely.
Especially big characters too.
Intrigue in Targ too at 2 costs, which is really cool.
Yeah, a 2 for 2. I think
you don't have to kneel her to use the ability. Oh my
Nope.
gosh, you just kind of do it. Just do it.
No, yep. It's worth it.
1 cost event, overthrowing the masters. It's non-loyal. As an action, during a challenge in which you are the attacking player, choose a defending character with strength X or lower and remove it from the challenge. X is the number of characters in the defending player's dead pile. So the thing I like about this is it's not High Garden because it doesn't stand them. So you don't have to worry about the defense next time. You're just I've killed a bunch of your stuff with Valar or whatever, right? And I pay 1 to just remove Ed or remove some of these people and just I love it.
I like it too. Anytime you can make your opponent think that they got a challenge will be defended or they're good with easy unopposed challenge or whatever. But then also you throw that in there. Say, okay, now you're done, for the challenge. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, for 1 cost, it's pretty cheap too. I mean, if you're running maybe Event Targ and you have training grounds or whatever that, you just exhaust it, play it for free or something like that, where you can just kind of cheat out events and things like that.
Or if you're doing that event, the Annals of Castle Rock.
The Annals of Castle Black,
Or Castle Black, sorry. I mean, that's just something you can use down the road too.
We're going to talk about that later with the Wheels Within Wheels, because I'm all right, so we got our Martell, the Red Vipers, the first card that we're going to look at from Martell. Again, I think Don plays a lot more Martell than I do. I kind of don't get it, and so I'm scared to try it. It's the only Martell I played is Jank Martell, no characters Martell or something like that. But this guy's cool. I like the 6 strength for 5 power Tricon. That's solid. Unique Red Viper, so I figured out the other day that you can dupe cards that aren't the same card with the same name. If you have the other Red Viper, you can dupe this card with that Red Viper.
Yeah, and so how that works is, say if you have 3 copies of the Red Viper and you have 2 of this one and 1 of the core set, whatever one you put into play first, that's the one that takes an effect. So if you come across the other copy,
it's not just dead. You can still
use him as a dupe.
And the thing I learned that with what is his name? The Onion Knight. The Baratheon guy. What is his name?
Sir Selmy?
Davos. Yes, Sir Davos. Because Davos has 2 versions now, and
yes,
decks run both of them. So
yes,
and they do run both of them because they're both really good at different times during the game. So
yes, they are.
This guy's got renown for 6 strength, or for 6 cost and 5 strength. Solid. Right there, that's solid. Like you play
that in every icon.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like just this part of the card, like is really good. Then because you're playing Martell. When the Red Viper is attacking, each defending character with 2 or fewer challenge icons does not contribute strength. That is so cool because like you just run like all 9 of the events or all 9 of the attachments. You run like what is her name? Nymeria, and a few of the other cards that just take away.
You can do confinement.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Me too.
I just like Martell so much just because even though you feel like you're losing at the beginning of the game, they're the type of house, like, they're in for the long haul, and it makes your opponent think that they got a chance of winning, but then all of a sudden you can actually turn it around on them and really mess with their
that exactly is exactly what happened to me in the top 4 at regionals this year, because like I was playing Nick and he was playing Martell, and like I was like, I'm in a good spot, and like then all of a sudden it just went downhill really fast. Like he started getting like a ton of gold every turn, the plots he had were just on point. It was Martell comes from behind.
I can see Martell being the end of friendships house because so many times I played against Martell and I'm like, oh
man. You're like long playing for 6 power and you're like, wait, what just happened?
Well, it's like I know it's coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a great card. I mean, honestly, like it takes characters out, like say the Mountain, that are one icon.
And for people who like the Red Viper, it gives them a copy of the Red Viper to play that's not a cheese ball. Like a cheese ball combo deck guy, like
I mean the core one was it is mediocre.
If you can play with it, you can probably like in a normal deck you can get like maybe 1 or 2 power from those challenges. When you're playing the Hyper Viper, you're just like he's like a 500 strength nonsensical unit who just win. But
what are the odds of you getting that off every game?
Not high, apparently, because it's not on the top tier. Nope. All right, next one we got is Dornish Revenge, 1 cost event, non-loyal. Reaction after you initiate a challenge, choose a character controlled by the defending player. That character must be declared as a defender for the challenge, if able. If you win by 5 or more strength, the losing opponent must choose and kill the defending character. In addition to the claim, too, which is sweet.
I love it.
The thing that I think is, in my head, like what I'm thinking is, okay, this is the same problem I have in the Star Wars LCG. There's cards that say you can make someone defend, but it doesn't mean they can't defend with others. So then I'm like, I kind of like get in that caught in the idea of like, well, if I choose for them to defend with the guy I need to kill, like they're just gonna like over defend so I lose, right? But I guess it's an overcommit, so that's really good, right?
But I think the one thing I like about this one is if you pair it up with the Viper that we just talked about.
That's true.
You force a character to kneel to defend, even though they can't.
That's true. That's a good point, because then if you're going first or they put you in a bad spot, you
well,
can
let's say like the Mountain.
Force them out.
Let's go back to the Mountain, for example. He only has that 1 icon. He's 10 strength. You make him kneel. Now he doesn't contribute.
I didn't even think of that.
He doesn't even contribute his strength.
He doesn't have a 2nd icon already.
So he doesn't contribute his strength, so you're forcing him to kneel. So either way, you're forcing him to use him. You're taking him out of the game. And potentially, if you win by 5, then he has to potentially kill him or another character. So it's a free kill.
Yeah.
I like it.
You're right.
And also with all the Nymeria and the confinement and all the icon attachments take away kind of thing. And well, there's all kinds of icon take away with Maester Kiliad.
Yeah.
That one location where after you lose a challenge, you get to take an icon of your choice.
That's true. You're making me really want to play Martell, because like I can't. I'm now just thinking of the millions of combinations of getting this to trigger, and it's so easy. Like it triggers off of like almost like 50% of the cards in any given deck. Like 50% of the characters.
I don't know. I just love it, and then especially like say Dornish Paramore as well. Now you're forcing potentially 2 characters if you use the Viper. If you use the Viper
and the Dornish Revenge.
The Dornish Revenge. You're making two characters kneel.
Yeah, I like Dornish Revenge actually. Now that you mention it in combo with the Viper, because it's almost like it's like a 2-claim military, or like you're just auto killing a character because like you can do so much tech against icons. I like it.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
even if you don't even use it with the Viper, it's still a good card.
All right, we into the neutrals. We got a 3-cost character, Begging Brothers. It's an intrigue and a power icon for 3 strength. So that's a pretty solid pass as a vanilla test. That's good. It's got the 7 trait, so you can start building around the substance stuff. Bestow 3, so it could be a 6 if you wanted to bestow it fully. But the important part is that when the effect of a triggered character ability would initiate, discard 1 gold from Begging Brothers to cancel those effects. So that's pretty cool. So you could use this against the Red Viper potentially, right?
Yes.
No, it's just triggered abilities.
No, sorry.
Yeah, it's just triggered abilities.
Yeah, so it's basically like...
So like Newt. Like you could stop Newt from doing his draw thing. Like anything that has the like colons after the action.
It's like this card is the answer for the treachery. Like every house now has some sort of like a treachery kind of card, where Lannister had that event where you can cancel.
But it doesn't work on events. Only characters, right? Or are you just saying this is a generic one for everybody?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
So this is a neutral card where everyone can kind of have their own, in a sense, treachery. I kind of like it. It just... It's up in the air for me. It's like a 50-50. A lot of times if I'm trying to cancel something, it's an event.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, a character ability, but most of the time I'm running nightmares anyway. So it's like, it's a hit or miss for me.
Yeah, I can see a few scenarios where I think it would be really funny, like canceling Victorian save on a like Valar or something like that, like where you could really make your opponent mad that they didn't take care of this earlier. I think is one of those ones where you like bestow it once, maybe twice, just because of the cost. But it's super annoying to sit out there, just like Brian is. It's like it sits there and you're like, oh, now I have to play around this. Or, that could be really annoying. So
exactly.
I think it could probably be like a one of in most decks, just where you like want to have, there's like a key character you need to deal with,
Well, you like Mel or what's her name from Targaryen, Miri. I know a lot of people don't play her anymore, but.
I think when you think about it, there's a ton of triggered abilities that we kind of don't think about. The next card is the one I think had like the most talked about. It was like the most talked about card in this pack, just because it does some really cool stuff. Flea Bottom is a unique support or location. It's a 1 cost and it's got the King's Landing trait. As a challenge action, you can pay 1 gold and kneel Flea Bottom to put a character with printed cost 3 or lower into play from your discard pile. At the end of the phase, if that card's still in play, place it in the bottom of your deck. Sorry, I was like reading it and I was like, card still in play. Oh my god, does it let you do any card? And no, it's just character. And I was like, oh god. Because I was like, oh man, pulling back like supports like Iron Mines, like but so this is the first of 2 cards in the set that was designed by a world champ. This is the 2004 world champ, and I think these are the guys that designed cards in the first edition. And they're either letting them design cards in the second edition or pulling them into the second edition. I don't know if it's...
I'm not too sure.
But it's cool.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I like it. I mean, for effective 1, you can, get a 3-cost character or lower, 3-cost or lower character in for 1, really.
That's good.
It's good. And then also you can load up on your cards. You can discard them on purpose.
I think I like that too. The idea that you can suffer through intrigues and stuff and get hit with without his beard and stuff like that and still be able to do stuff. Like you can pull a Chud out to block with here, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. The placing them on the bottom of your deck is the thing you want to avoid the most. So if you can sacrifice them or kill them or get them to go back into the discard pile, you probably want to do it so you can keep seeing it over and over again. And I mean, there's what is it? They were talking about playing this card with some of the things where you sacrifice a card to do something. So anytime you see sacrifice or discard a card to activate an effect, play it with Flea Bottom because you're going to be able to do it every turn.
Well, one thing I like about this card, I mean, this is the Grand Slam, I guess you would call it. If you're playing
living the dream.
Yeah, living the dream. If you're playing Lannister and for some reason you got your Hound discarded, and you have that, you put him in. You use them, you win. He goes back to your hand.
Yeah, okay.
So you basically, you got the Hound for a 1 gold.
That could be cool.
But what are the odds of that happening?
I mean,
Hey,
you never know.
not too many, but
I like the idea of having your, much like we're going to talk about when we get to the plot with like, Annals of Castle Black. I like the idea of being able to use your discard pile as your hand sometimes. Like, it really means you don't have to worry about things like drawing as much.
yeah.
If you can open up your entire hand as your like entire discard pile as your hand, you're like, I don't care about drawing cards. I just want to use anything in there. Okay, so this one is also one that was talked about a decent amount. A 0 cost event. The Iron Bank will have its due, and it's got a long perk of text here, so bear with me. As an action, if it's not the taxation phase, kneel your faction card and return a character to your hand to gain gold equal to the character's printed cost. Until the end of the round, you cannot marshal or put into play any card with the same title as that character. So, yeah, like, do you need some money? Do you need some other ambush stuff? Like,
I love it.
Yeah, there's some really cool things you can do here. And if you haven't had a chance, the guy who designed this card, Ryan Jones, wrote an article about the design of the card on Fantasy Flight's site. So go check it out because it is actually really cool to read because it talks about how the card started off as, put a character back in your hand to get gold for that character's cost. That's what it started as. And then it moved into, okay, we can't have it happen before or like after taxation because then people in like the standing phase or whatever will get a bunch of money they can keep, right?
Yeah.
And, or like after taxation because the action is after the taxing. Or like, you can't put something back into play so you can't like double bounce effects that are like really detrimental to your opponent. And so I highly suggest reading the article, but I want to see what people do with it because, like, my mind, I can't like wrap my head around it because I don't play with enough cards that care about coming out in the middle of the challenge phase. Man. But I guess it doesn't matter because if you like know they're going to Veiler next turn, like because the board state suggests it, you can like, stop them from doing it.
I would say out of the whole pack, my opinion, this is the best card.
Okay, I don't know if I disagree with you. I think it's a great, like, it probably is like amazing and just like lacking vision.
And you can see how excited I am because like I can't sit still. It's like so many reasons why I love this card.
Okay, give me 2, and then we're gonna move on to the wheels.
1.
Okay.
You can put a character back in. Let's say if you're playing Tyrell or Knight, put him back in your hand. You can reuse them for later the next round to discard.
Another unit. So yeah, so you can bounce back the guy who discards the lowest cost unit from. I was thinking House Florent Knight, but yeah, I can.
Yeah, House Florent Knight. Or here's another thing you can do: you bounce the character back in, so you can get gold. So maybe you can play your Put to the Sword, Tears of Lease, or something, just so you have some sort of gold in your hand, maybe to win dominance even. Also, you can put a character back in hand that you know that you're going to Valor next turn. Save them from dying.
That's true. I think it is a really clever way to get other stuff off of it. Like, so you talked about playing tiers or playing things. Like, this could be a really good way to you used your milk on Ed, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna bounce Ed and play him again next turn. Like, I'm gonna reset it. Like,
exactly.
I'm gonna lose a bunch of gold, but at least I have a free Ed up, and maybe I get a dupe from the draw or something.
Exactly.
Like that, right?
Exactly. And it kind of then it opens up that idea of like your plots like having to have confiscation in your plot to get rid of an attachment or something.
And it gives you a shitload of gold, and pardon my French, in dominance. Like,
yes.
Like you're like, I'm just gonna pop the mountain back up and win Dom per game. Like
6 gold, and you never know that 1 power might be what you need to get over the edge.
It could basically stop Baron its tracks sometimes if you just got a bunch of money. Okay, I'm liking it. 1 of every deck at least.
3.
3 of every deck. Got it. All right, the final card is called Wheels Within Wheels. It's a 4 income, 1 claim, 1 initiative, 1 claim, 7 reserve card. It's a scheme, so you can pop it into your favorite Reigns of Castamere decks and play that as one of your extra 5. When revealed, search the top 10 cards of your deck for any number of events and reveal them. Add 1 to your hand and place the others in your discard pile and shuffle your deck. So it's interesting. So most of the other 10 searches don't cause you to discard. So your summons, you're shuffling back your thing. Building orders, you're shuffling back into your deck. It's kind of interesting that it makes you discard because it fuels everything we've been talking about today. Annals of Castle Black, even things like Flea Bottom.
Yep.
It fuels that, and it thins your deck out up to 10 cards, which could be a cool thing to have happen to you. It could also be a very crappy thing to have happen to you, but I don't think I play enough decks that have events as the literal crux of them to know why I would run this card though.
I play decks where I would find online and they're like 32 of the 60 cards are events and stuff. So I would say something like that. This would be really good. You search your top 10, you put a bunch of events in your discard. Now, I would say this plot is only good if you're going to play the Annals.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think this is just fuel for the Hyper Viper because it sets up the combo a lot harder and a lot faster. Because you're like, okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna have to wheels within wheels this turn, so I can Annals next turn.
Yeah.
I can get everything I need and start setting up.
But also another thing I like is you get to add another card to your hand.
Mm-hmm. So that's three draw.
Which potentially you could get an event that you need.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you could that you need down like a Jakaris or a sword.
Oh, I just got it because you can rains it and then you don't have to worry about any of the like other stuff like the crappy plot or like anything like that because you already got your income from your harvest, summer harvest. You scheme it in with rains and then you just draw an event you need like mid challenge phase.
Yep.
That is cool.
And I also like the Reservist 7.
Yeah.
Which is really good because
so on the high income plot you can keep a bunch of your cards.
keep all your.
I'm a fan now. I think I talked myself into liking it more as like a.
Or even like if you did like accounting coppers to a scheme or to this wheels on within wheels. So I like it. It has potential.
Yeah, definitely.
So
all right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We do these every time a pack comes out. Sorry for the delay here. I used Gen Con and a bunch of other stuff happened in August, so there was downtime or no downtime. That's the thing. We'll try to get back on track. But thanks for watching. Come down to the shop. We play games on Saturdays and Tuesdays. So if you play any card games or anything like that, that's when we play. You want to push the shop that you do in Springs? Where do you play?
Well, I play in a bunch of different places. We play mainly at Petrie's, which is on north end of Colorado Springs. And, excuse me, we have our league on Sunday nights between 4 and 6. So that's starting up next week. So if you're in the area, feel free to come by. We definitely got some cool swag coming. And we're just looking forward to meeting new people. So.
And I'd like to point out right now, there's a bunch of stuff happening with the LCGs, Netrunner not being talked about, all this stuff with L5R and, all these other things. This game's still going. There's still deluxes coming out for it. So, be excited because this game, even though they're not, doing a ton of press about it and they didn't talk about a Gen Con or anything like that, you got the Tyrell big box coming out soon.
Oh,
that's going to be fun. The next cycle's already starting up. I think it's the Maester cycle or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but it's all of it. It's got the new agenda in it for Maesters. So this game's still alive and well. So don't fear everybody who's out there talking about LCGs dying or whatever, because this game is actually still going.
And this game is the best game.
Yeah,
period.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
It's better than all of them.
Yeah, and if you ever want to come learn, let us know and we'll teach because this is one of the coolest games. So
or send a comment out. We'll be happy to answer any questions you guys might have. So. And
the most important part is that if we got anything wrong today, make sure to yell at us with the most profanity you can in the comments. That's what we really
the more
appreciate.
the better.
But if you guys are CollectorMania fans, become a CollectorManiac. We have a rewards program we do, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. It's sitting for too long. How do you feel that went?